Okay, we got it. We got it. All right, we're good. Go for it. It's you, Nigel. Great to have
Oh,
you.
yeah, for sure, man. Definitely appreciate Stefan again. This is an absolutely great experience. I feel like we have all different types of people on the call today. I know we have individuals that have been here all week tapping in from a multitude of sessions. So I appreciate you guys. I see my guy
Mhm.
Danny up here. And we also got the people that just joined a few minutes ago that have no idea what's going on. That just tapped in and want to get some knowledge. One great thing in particular is just the ability to show up amongst a community that looks like us and just be able to learn. For my people that jumped up here, y'all no stranger to me, but to everybody else, to formally introduce myself, my name is Nigel Hammett. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, currently living in Miami, Florida. And what drew me to this conversation, or what even qualified me, is simply working in the AI space. Right now, I'm an account executive at Google, selling AI products to small and medium businesses. But more importantly, I'm an entrepreneur, somebody that's been able to take things that I've learned in school, from a corporate basis, and be able to deploy my own solutions as well. So when we think about the kind of the activities of the businesses that I do, or the hands in the pot that I have per se, you're looking at a lot of things, particularly in the career development space. Career development, landing a job, or even just building internationally as well. For those that are close to me that know, I have international businesses in East Africa as well as in the Caribbean. So being able to extend a lot of these resources and knowledge pots that I'm getting to my audience, and so they can not only land careers but be able to build on top of their solutions as well. So I'm happy to be here. I'm sure we're going to be taking a lot of questions, letting the conversations flow. My goal is to give as much knowledge as possible, and then as well as to learn things from the audience as well.
I got one question. You told me, I've traveled all over the place and you're a lot younger and you traveled. Tell us some of the places you traveled to.
Yeah, so fun fact, I mean, I just got my passport less than a few years ago, and it's already filled up crazy. And I say that because a lot of times people hear about the travels, and it's like, oh man, you're lucky. Nah, as soon as I got it, I was one of them that was gone, and I was out to put it to work. And I always had a huge cultural reference growing up around a lot of family members, a lot of, just understanding and reading. But some of my favorite places are the places I do business at, to be honest. In East Africa, specifically in Rwanda. It's right next to Congo, Tanzania, and Kenya. We have over 3+ employees over there. And so that's one of my favorite places to go. And the mindset is, if I go somewhere often, whether I have family, whether I have friends, I like to establish business and be able to contribute in a multitude of ways. And then
Hmm.
second is going to be Jamaica. Same exact thing. We got a business operation running down there. I got family and friends there as well. So just being able to have roots, but also being able to tie the roots is something economical and be able to provide opportunities.
Great. That's great. So at Google, you know, how long have you been doing stuff related to AI? It's kind of hit everybody.
Yeah, Google. Google is new. I've been at Google for a few years, but I'm a marketing guy. I'm not even an AI guy originally. My
Hmm.
whole MO was marketing, advertising. I'm a seller. I've been that
Hmm.
way from a kid. And so understanding that and seeing the trajectory and the shift, I was actually able to change from the advertising marketing world to the AI cloud world. And just like a lot
Hmm.
of you guys on this call, I literally didn't know anything. I had to start from the ground up in terms of knowledge, start learning about machine learning, AI, all these different things within the artificial intelligence world from the internal and external perspective. But that's what I do every single day. And so one thing that I think about is if I'm speaking and working with all these different businesses, like I have to ensure that I'm pouring the same knowledge out as well. So I do speak talks and speeches like this, but we also I'm a part of the Caribbean board. We go down to Jamaica. We went there last December, and we're helping out small businesses in the Caribbean as well. We did tech beach retreat. It was just like this, but on the beach. So being able to
Right.
provide the knowledge and share it everywhere that I go is very important.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, Antoine got his hand up. Antoine. And
Uh,
anybody else, just put your hand up and we'll put you in order. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Nigel, can you tell us what you did with Ti, Tiny, and Rolling Stone?
yes, for sure. David Boy did his research. I appreciate that. The resume for me is definitely long. I've done a lot of different things. He mentioned Ti and Tiny. So that most folks know Ti. Some folks may know Tiny from Escape, a huge women's R&B group out of the '90s and early 2000s. But essentially, I was working with them on a few NFT projects. right? So I was able to tour with them, working on building out some type of rollout, a database. Through that process, a lot of projects launched, a few things flopped. The main thing that we were able to do was pretty much set up a way for her to get virtual NFT tickets that we were able to give out. So just being a young person, like at that time, that was a few years ago. So I was, 23, 24 years old, just being able to do that, still be relatable enough to know what's going on, but still have that professional level or element of trust. When you're working with these people, they like a small crew. So yeah, it was dope. It was awesome. It was awesome. One thing I can say is the NFT world has slowed down, but it was still really nice to be at the forefront there and then see the successful projects around me that came out too.
Hey, I got a question for you about that. What did you learn? Because we were heavily into the NFT, blockchain, and still into blockchain. What did you learn by it being big, like a bubble, and then, a lot of people lost on it? What did you learn from the downside, the things that didn't go right?
Well, I think it's no different than anything else. Things come in cycles and seasons. And before they hit the scene and become what we know them as today, there was an up and down time span. No difference from you look at something like professional basketball was popular on and off. And then you had a Magic Johnson and a Larry Bird take the league to another level. And so specifically talking about NFTs and blockchain, I think that it's the future, but they just tried to oversell it too fast. And then with the barrier being so low, we can talk about that more in a second. AI, tech sales, NFT, a lot of these things anybody can technically do without a degree. And so when you have that and then you have it being pushed like it's the next get rich quick scheme, you have a bubble in the making. So it's not the technology, it's not the infrastructure, it's the unrealistic expectations and the influctuation of people in the space without doing the proper homework.
Somebody, I know we're going to take a few questions here. So go through a couple of programs that you're using with AI. Everybody kind of wants, give me stuff that's going to help me right now. And so we're going to add it to it. What is your go-to program or platform with AI?
For sure. So, I'm a Google guy. So I know a lot of the world is using ChatGPT. Personally, I'm on Gemini, not only for work purposes, but just on a day-to-day level. On a basic script, we're talking emails. We're talking, modernization of voice. We're talking scheduling. We're talking putting together programs. Outside of Google family, I'm a businessman. So I have things, we want to be using these AI tools almost like personal assistants.
Yeah.
Another thing as well that I will tell you is that every single technical platform is now incorporating AI. So now everybody's an AI company, which is great because one thing that's not being talked about is that these companies had to step their game up, just like we're stepping our game up as entrepreneurs and businessmen and women. So you're seeing these companies that have been doing the same thing for 10 years, 8 years that are now adding new products, new solutions, new innovations. So for me, I'm a resume writer. I'm using different AI tools in Grammarly. Grammarly was just basic grammar. Now it has an AI component on top of it, right? I'm using different chat bots. ManyChat is one of my favorite. It used to be just a regular communication.
How do you spell that? How do you spell that?
Yeah, I can put it in here, just ManyChat. Yeah. So this is really big for business owners or individuals that do a lot of lead generation and marketing through their DMs. Statistics show that DM marketing is really strong because most people are not picking up the phone and not texting. They don't want to look at a traditional ad. But if you're having one-on-one conversations with individuals, that's how we met in DM. If you're having one-on-one conversations in the DM, people are willing to exchange and do business.
I got it. It makes sense. It's personal. It's personal.
It's personal.
Yeah. Interesting. So ManyChat. Okay.
Absolutely.
Anybody else have some questions? So I'm not asking all of them.
Yes, the first site was Gemini. Yep. What's up, Tim? How you doing, bro? Got my peoples in here. One thing I say I appreciate about people's that we come out for every and anything. It doesn't matter if we talking trading. It don't matter if we talking resumes, Google, tech sales, AI. Just pull up and learn something. I really appreciate that.
So I can tell that you are a marketer and you can sell anything. How are you looking at AI and looking at ideas like, man, I think I can do something with that. I think I can sell this.
Well, it's different areas that you can attack and it's different really positions that you can play within this game. It's no different than any other industry. You have the innovators, and you have to understand who you are personally. You have the innovators and creators. The innovators and creators are the ones creating and innovating ideas. Then you have the influencers and implementation folks. These are individuals. Hey, I don't need to be the number one guy to create Uber.
Are those two different people, the influencer and the other one?
Yeah, they're in the same. They're in the same bucket. They're in the same bucket.
Okay.
Right. So you got the creators and innovators. And that's tier one, and then tier two, you have the influencers and the folks who are implementing. Okay. Right. Because you guys were talking about Canva before. There's somebody who's creating Canva, and then there's somebody who's using Canva really well. Those are two different people.
Put that in the chat. If somebody could put it, that's good. And where do you fall in that? Where do you fall?
That's a good question. A quote that I always learn coming up is that we want to be able to sell shovels. Right? Because it's always going to be a gold mine. I'm providing people to shovel on the way to get there.
Yeah.
And so what that means in this space is, hey, I'm not going to invent the gold. I'm not going to be able to do everything around the placement of the gold, but I'm going to help people get there. That's why I'm a resume writer, right? I don't create the jobs. I just help people get them. So when it comes to AI specifically for me, I'm more in the influencer implementation standpoint to enhance what I already have going on, right? Using AI, using the things that have been created. And then the other side is the influence, doing things like this, being able to speak, use my gift of articulation, communication, education to be able to give back and be a leader and a thought leader within the space.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is good. I like that.
Hey, Nigel.
Yes.
I see you went to North Carolina A&T.
Yes, sir. Aggie Pride.
Yes. HBCU in the house. So I went to Johnson C. Smith University, which was better than your school. I'm just saying.
No, good.
But definitely, we had two sessions today. My session and the other session, Keontae's session on HBCUs.
Love that.
So thinking back to when you was in school and everything like that, how could AI have helped you through your time period at your HBCU?
For sure. That's a tricky question because some people believe that AI is hurting students. Some people believe that it's a dark side, it's making them lazy, but it's here. There's people that also believe that the internet was bad. There was somebody that believed their smartphones are bad, but it's here 10, 15, 20 years later. So directly answer your question, I think it allows students to be quicker. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of traditional education. I think it's a waste of time, a lot of busy work. Obviously I graduated college, I support HBCUs. I just don't like the way, our education system is set up from top to bottom. So I think kind of utilizing AI would have benefited for somebody like me. I think smart. I'm always not necessarily looking for shortcuts, but I'm a systematic, business-minded person. Why do I need to spend, 3 hours constructing a one-page paper when I can articulate it well? That's my gift, speaking. Why can't I speak it into an AI system and have it punch it out and I do the, all the grammar and the edits? And so I think it helps a certain type of individual, but it hurts a lot of others because we know that everything isn't for everybody. But generally speaking, it prepares folks for jobs because at a job, you're allowed to use your resources. School doesn't equate to success, entrepreneurship, and high-level performance at a job because it's about networking. It's about messing up. It's about taking risks. And so using AI kind of enhances that. I think it increases productivity and it allows folks to be quicker as students, which is huge. Just the downside is you have to make sure that ambition is still there and those personal skills are still in that same category as you're adding on to AI. That's a great question, though.
All right, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. She said, yes, in many places, 10th grade is required. Yeah, feel free to drop any questions or thoughts as well. If anything that I'm saying that's sticking out, feel free to drop a statement.
Yeah, let me ask something. Were you just kind of saying that you're not a fan of education like in school, so you see a lot of people might not go the 4-year college route? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Especially in my industry, tech sales, where you can just do a boot camp now, learn a couple of things, because it's not, the studies show that really college is just showing the competency that you can make it. It's not always about what you necessarily learn. Unfortunately, I wish that it wasn't the case, but unfortunately, we major in different things and didn't do something completely different. So it's really just a sign of stamp and approval. And AI, to be honest, is a competitor to traditional education. Traditional education is open up the book and go with a highlighter and pen for 3 hours. AI and
That's
that doesn't
interesting.
necessarily go hand in hand.
AI is a competitor. Okay.
Traditional education. Absolutely. That's why they were slow to roll it out until they had no choice.
Yeah. You know what I found out the other day? So his name is Mustafa Suleiman. He was at Deep Minds with Google and doing extraordinary things. And he left them and started a company called Inflection. And, you know, again, he's brilliant. He started this. And then he wanted to take AI and make it personable so it can talk and stuff like that. And so his company, Inflection, started Hey Pi or Pi. And this is Pi right here. Hey Pi, tell me how AI can help develop, let's see, it can help develop machine learning skills at an HBCU. And you're talking to a group right now.
Hey there, Pirate. That's a great question. Here are some ways AI can help develop machine learning skills at HBCUs. 1. Curriculum development. AI can assist in developing and updating machine learning curricula to ensure that students are learning the most relevant and cutting-edge techniques. 2. Hands-on learning. AI-powered platforms can provide students with opportunities for hands-on.
Anyway, it'll keep going. Let me just ask something else. Hey, Pi, let's pretend it's the year 2030. What does it look like in 2030 for people going the college route, specifically in HBCUs, versus people going a non-traditional route using AI for certifications and this type thing in classes and going straight into jobs from that? What does the climate look like in 2030?
In 2030, we're likely to see a diversified landscape in higher education and career paths. For BCUs, there will likely be a continued focus on providing a culturally rich and supportive environment for Black students, while also integrating cutting-edge AI technology into their programs to better prepare graduates for the workforce. On the other hand, non-traditional routes using AI for certifications and skills-based training will likely become more popular and widely accepted by employers. This could lead to increased competition between traditional colleges and alternative education providers.
All right, we got it. Anyway, so Mustafa Suleiman did that, and that's very popular now. And it's that's its sweet spot right there, is talking in a conversational way. And then 2 months ago, Microsoft said, no, we want him over there. And they brought him over, and he actually heads up all of AI for Microsoft. But he dropped out of college, you know, he did 1 year and that was it. And I think it's an incredible story because he went a different route. He used the skills and stuff that he had and ended up, he's the one, he's really steering Microsoft right now. He did a speech on how we're going to have a new thing called a new digital species. He feels like it's a get ready for a combination of people and AI, and whatever that symbiosis is going to be, he's actually leading out on it. So he's somebody who went that route. All right, go ahead.
Keely had her hand raised.
Who did?
Hello, Keely.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Okay, you got it.
Hi, Nigel. How are you?
Hey.
So I totally agree. I think that, college is awesome. It exposes us, to different avenues. However, there are plenty of people that are millionaires that own businesses, more than one, who haven't went to college. They don't have that student loan debt. And when I was saying like 10th grade, when you go to other countries, like I've been to Sierra Leone, I've been to Liberia, I've been to Luxembourg. Sometimes in different places, they don't require that 12th grade education. Like some kids are only going, to the 10th grade. Now they may not say it's 10th grade, but the years that we have here, I think sometimes, like when you said I don't want to say it's a waste, but some of these kids know what they know in the 9th and 10th grade. They are way advanced. Like studies have proven that kids that are homeschooled now and are more advanced, like they're graduating at 12 and 13 years old. So college is awesome and it exposes us to different things. But I do think that throwing it on every especially blacks, when we always had an entrepreneurship, right? When we go back to the 50s and 40s, like our parents and parents' they had more than one hustle. Now, I'm using hustle, but I'm saying they had several ways of generating income, So I do think that this allows people to have more than one avenue. And sometimes education is, I know people that are highly educated doctrines, and they don't have the income,
Right.
So
Right.
my brother, he's a millionaire and he never went to college. And it's funny because my mom went to college and my dad went to college. I went to college. And he was like, Keely, you don't have to go to college to be a millionaire. You don't have to do that. I took that route, but we need to be open to that. And it allows you, when you don't have that bondage, to do more. Like you said, you have, you can do a lot without thinking about, oh, I got 100 and something thousand, So I'm glad you think about that.
No, absolutely. And thank you for sharing that as well. I think the thing we have to understand is asking ourselves those inner questions of what defines success. What's going to bring us happiness? What are the things that we want to do in our life? And as we're talking about AI, really just about expanding our own creativity. And so it's all about in tandem with things that are in the natural and the presence, and using AI, using these tools to enhance what we have going on. A lot of us are sitting on talents, ideas, thoughts, processes, and we're wasting it, right? So we're not always implementing it. That's why tier number 2 is the influencer and the folks on the implementation side, the creator side, creating something used off the original creation. So I just want to challenge everyone. There's so many links being dropped. Keep dropping your favorite AI tools and links. There's so many. And I know that somebody on this call is going to be able to walk away with something that's going to turn up their business, their personal life, whatever, and really truly make a difference. So I do appreciate that.
Okay, I have a question. Fine.
Let's do it. Hey.
Fine, I'll come off mute. Real quick, what about people like me? I specialize in maintaining quality, and that feedback process of informing what's going on. Like, where is that in the tiers? I'm not trying to.
No. Let's get into it. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by maintaining quality? Like, what does that mean?
Like, for example, you have a product, a business, whatever. You don't just like say, here's this app, I'm going to release it to the world, and not have feedback mechanisms that allow you to learn about the experience of the client, or the infrastructure and the operations, making sure that your product or your program continues to do what it is supposed to do. Where is that?
So are you saying, okay, where does that look like in terms of just being, the jefe, the boss, the creator in that space? There's a level of you making new changes internally and externally. So there are things that you can learn that nobody else ever sees. It's just only helping you and your team out, making your life easier. So there's a process of that where it's like people just see the results. Oh, okay, Lauren's making more money, or she's working with this group, that group, but they don't know behind the scenes you made some changes. You added in some personnel, you added in some tools. And then there's the other side where the bread and butter that you do have, that original product, could be enhanced. But it's always tricky. If it's working, don't try to fix what's not broken, of course. But a lot of times look internally as well for your own systems on the backside.
I'm satisfied.
All right, let's get a great question too, because this stuff gets deep. And then the bottom 2 buckets, y'all, you got the consumers, right? And there's 2 types of consumers, consumers for leisure, and then consumers you don't even know you're a consumer, right? And so there's nothing wrong. That's why I break down those tiers. You don't have to create the next Uber, Facebook, ChatGPT. I'm not even trying to do that. I'm just literally utilizing the things that are out here to make my life easier. That's it. Cool. Yeah, feel free to drop any questions as well. For those that are just joining, we're breaking everything down. are truly just kind of talking about the different factors of AI. Me specifically, I'm a marketing guy. I'm a salesman, true and true, an entrepreneur. So when we talk about a lot of these AI products, it's truthfully to be able to help within my own life, be able to make things a little bit easier for myself. And, on a business level, of course, there's solutions, there's innovations. If you are a creator, if you are a builder, there's a ton of opportunities. And also understand joining a team is just as important that we don't talk about. You don't have to sit in the room in four corners and create something on your own. You're able to be in spaces like this. You hear somebody working on that and you join, right? Hey, man, can I volunteer? Can I tap in? A lot of times that's what we're not doing enough of in our community. A lot of us are creating the same thing, to be honest, but we're just in four different corners and not talking to each other. So we have to be cautious of that.
So let me ask you a question about that. So I think it's a whole lot of money to be made. And we see it around us. We find angles to make that money. But sometimes just in our community, we might be going for the same money. And it might be 5 different groups realizing, man, that's a contract that we want, or I want, or our group. And I think some things like that keep us a little bit competitive, and also sort of who's on top. How can I get that place that's on top? Because that's going to be better. And it seems like it keeps us from unity, because if you can get out of the pack, maybe I can grab that stuff faster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a tough one, and that's a valid point, because a lot of us are fighting for the same or similar audience. That's why it's good to mix it up. Consider sometimes when you're starting a product base or business to go faceless. They don't need to know who the owner is. There's some companies you don't know who the owner is, right? And one of my favorite small businesses is Calendly. A lot of people don't know that Calendly is Black owned. I know there's a ton of other better or different calendar options, but
You're the best.
I don't know what that man looks like. I just heard that he's Black owned.
I know, me either. Yeah.
But that's to my point.
We love it. Yeah.
To my point, we don't always have to put our face in the camera for everything. Now it's nice, but just understand that eliminates a lot of that. Because when I come up here, understand I'm always going to be labeled as the young Black man who's doing this, for good or for worse. And so to your point, there are some business ventures people don't even know I'm a part of. You have no idea. No idea. I'm a silent partner, and I keep it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nigel, since you're a silent partner, tell us about the NIL stuff you do.
For sure. I mean, that's on the forefront. That's in the sports world. I'm a college athlete, former college athlete myself. I played men's tennis at North Carolina A&T. And I understand that the game has changed. A lot of these athletes are so young and they have an opportunity to make a ton of money. For those that don't know, NIL is name, image, and likeness. And all that is just allowing these kids finally to make their own money. No one's giving them money. They're not getting salaries. The powers that be have just now allowed them to go get their own. And so similar to this forum, we go to these schools, we speak to the kids about financial literacy. We talk to them about influencer marketing, building up their social media. But to your point, I talk to a lot of our athletes that are on our roster with us, and we have them target AI companies, because these AI companies are very well funded, whether through seed, VC, series, etc. And they are looking for ways to reach young Black youth, Gen Z. And what better way to do that through influencer marketing and working with these athletes? And so that's, again, being at tier number 2, where you're not necessarily creating the Ubers, the Facebooks, the Chat GPTs, but you are influencing the masses around it and benefiting as well.
Can we circle back real quick? You mentioned something about Calendly being Black owned, which I know because of Anton. He told me. Okay. I wasn't using Calendly, and then he told me. But anyway, so I find that in our community, like you said, we might be building in silos in 4 different corners, and there are people building solutions that are viable, like Latimer AI was in here, Black owned. They have their own API.
Wow.
Like, we can use it in all of our websites. We can build off of that, but we're still running back to some of these other things. So it's just like, there's one side of putting it out there and people knowing, yes, this is Black owned. But then once we know that it's Black owned, what is our responsibility? Should it play into the equation of our choices and partnerships and whatnot?
For sure. I mean, one thing about we're talking from the community space that, and it's just generally speaking, some folks may see it in a different way. We haven't done the best job of maintaining the home base. And so, we are very consumer society, where we buy a lot. And so the problem is we don't have enough creators to buy from. And so there is a level of, benefit of the doubt that I'm going to give Darius or Keisha, whoever that's building these products, especially if they're good. But a lot of times we don't give a lot as much slack as well, where somebody messes up one time and then it's over. And we're not understanding that, hey, why don't you tell them, or give them a recommendation or an ability for them to improve as a whole. And so as we're seeing these different AI products pop up, I think one, it's great to use it, especially from these creators that we've seen throughout this week. But two, also to give feedback. If you feel like, before you just leave and diss a Black business, give them feedback and an opportunity to get better on your way out as well. That's something that a lot of people miss, that we just leave and don't say anything. And so last point, when you mentioned we're all building in these 4 different corners, that's a lot of, the trust level is so low. And I understand everyone's been burnt. Everyone is, especially if you're a business owner, you're somebody that's tried different, everybody's had a bad experience. So the trust level is on the floor. Where in other communities, the trust level is a little bit higher, right? So we have to work on rebuilding that trust, having these conversations and not thinking everyone's trying to steal our idea. I could tell you right now, $1 million idea, but it takes a lot to go build, right? And so the more we talk about it, the more you gain investors, the more you gain users, and potentially co-founder. Like building a team, having people that you can trust, especially in our community that can work and grow with you, is such a limited resource. You can always find somebody to buy, but finding somebody that's really going to build with you or, be cool with you to rock out in a company or business venture is extremely difficult. So we have to communicate in these spaces, share our idea, drop our links, because we don't know what that one share can do in terms of our connections. I see we got another hand raised too. What's up, Kelly?
Keely.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that is like for business owners, and even with, I guess, the past traumas in our history with Black people, right? We have a total distrust between each other. I'm friends with Carl Noblox. He's a small business administrator here in Virginia, the director. And he was like, we just had a very transparent conversation. He said, I don't understand why sometimes we act like crap. We act like crabs in a barrel. Yeah. And I don't know if that's, from our relationships, within our community, with our parents, but it's the same way, like you said, in business. And that is the major thing that is keeping us from coming together. So when you hear like companies like Stefan, he brought this together, which is awesome. But when you hear Black companies coming together and several different people with, using their skills from history, that's the only way that we can evolve, and have wealth. And for some reason, I think since we are a consumer-based society, Black, we don't understand that. I think we so much, whatever's hot, whatever's new, we're buying it, whether it's hair, lashes, and the money is not coming to us.
No.
So I'm so glad that you touched on that, because it's horrible within our community, and it's saddening to me.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we need more individuals like everybody on this call, getting this information, the knowledge, because, not everyone's going to be able to, I keep saying the same thing because it's true. Not everybody's going to be able to create the biggest, baddest thing, but we are able to utilize what's out here to not only make our lives easier, but to enhance what we already have going on. So thank you so much for that addition there. And yep, protect your ownership. IP. Let's talk about it.
Hey, Stefan, you muted right now.
Still muted.
He's still muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Antoine.
Yeah, I wanted you to ask Pi, how do we solve that problem?
Man, for the Black right. That's a big problem.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. This is good. Antoine's good at these questions.
That's a great question to train the AI model.
Hey, Pies, this is Stefan. So we're talking in our group, and you helped to put together this National Black AI Literacy Week. Now we're talking amongst ourselves, and we're asking this question about trust. So, how would you suggest we, as this group, the Black community that's all into AI, looking into AI, but we all want to succeed, but there's issues of trust, and sometimes it keeps us not forming unity. What would you say about that, or some solutions? Give us three short solutions. I don't know why we asking AI, because it's white people, but let's see.
Stefan,
I
here
don't
are questions for fostering
Right.
trust and unity within the Black AI community. One, transparency. Encourage open and honest communication about the development and use of AI technologies so that everyone understands how these systems work and how they can impact the community. Two, inclusion. Ensure that the community is represented at all levels of AI development and decision making, from research to implementation. This helps to ensure that the needs and concerns of the community are being addressed. Three, collaboration. Encourage collaboration and knowledge sharing among members of the community, as this can help to build trust, foster innovation, and create a stronger sense of unity. By prioritizing transparency, inclusion, and collaboration within the Black AI community, you can create an environment that promotes trust and unity, ultimately leading to greater success and progress.
Yeah, I see. Listen, I think we know that
I don't
stuff.
like that answer.
We know stuff about trust and unity, but what about when it's hard to trust? And yeah, what are the solutions between us as the Black community to trust each other?
I see what you're getting at, Stefan. Trust can be a complex issue, especially within a community that has historically faced systemic challenges and discrimination. To address this, here are some additional suggestions specifically tailored to building trust within the Black AI community. One, active listening. Encourage members of the community to listen to each other's concerns and experiences with empathy and understanding, rather than jumping to conclusions or dismissing others' perspectives. Two, shared experiences. Create opportunities for members of the community to share their personal stories and experiences, as this can help to build empathy and understanding among individuals. Three, restorative practices. When trust is broken or challenges arise within the
Dang,
community,
dang,
implement restorative practices such as mediation or
dang.
conflict resolution to help heal relationships and move
Give me 1
forward in a
second.
positive direction. Remember, building trust takes time, effort, and a willingness to engage in open and honest dialogue with one another. By implementing these practices, the Black AI community can work towards overcoming the barriers that prevent trust and unity.
Dang, that's a mic drop. Hold on 1 second. Pi, what made you change in how you answered that question? Because the second answer was great, but you really got down to the root of it. How were you prompted, or how did you change so much from the first answer to really giving us something deep that we needed?
Thanks for the feedback, Stefan. I was prompted to delve deeper into the issue of trust within the Black AI community by your follow-up question, which emphasized the challenges and complexities of building trust specifically within this group. In my first answer, I focused more broadly on general principles of trust and unity, but your question prompted me to consider the unique historical and systemic
This is great,
factors
y'all.
that might make trust building more difficult within the Black community. This allowed me to tailor my response to address those specific challenges and offer more targeted solutions. It's all about listening closely to your questions and understanding the nuances of the issue at hand so that I can provide the most relevant and helpful information possible.
I don't know. So it's up to y'all. Was that helpful or what? Maybe not.
It got a little better. The second one was better than the first. But I don't think that it
But that these
went where it needed
problems,
to go.
these problems are massive. If we could just throw it in the AI tool and give us the answer, hallelujah, and amazing. But I think that it's truly more impressive of the tool to be able to understand and comprehend. Like my homie just texted me, like my guy Tay, it has a conscience, it understands. I see in the comment section, it's been able to invoke some emotion But these are very big problems that it's going to take all of us to be able to understand and get better at.
I thought that the response was actually quite accurate. And I think that we in this group, Stefan, that you have actually created an environment that does hit on all of those points that build trust. And I was just talking to my husband about that. This environment, it's about the energy and the mindset. It's about the no gatekeeping. It's about the transparency of information. It's about the collaborative spirit. And it's about the intentionality that we are all here to share, to grow, and to learn. And there is this wall that's usually up when it comes to people. And it's not only Black people. I just sat and read 182 pages of a fashion and tech report, an article on LinkedIn written by white people, 182 pages, and there was not one resource shared. The gatekeeping was incredible. And I spent one day of classes and I've gotten more resources here than I could even imagine. I'm going to be busy for the rest of the summer using all that I've learned here. So I think that, Pi did a good job. It may not have been, I think it was good. I think it was accurate. And those are the things we need to focus on: collaboration, transparency, no gatekeeping, compassion, trust, the energy and the mindset. And I think that this is a group unlike any other group that I've ever experienced. And I wake up every day super excited to be a part of this community. And I'm like a kid in a candy store, and I do not want to leave. I will leave kicking and screaming. And I don't know if anybody has seen that Denzel meme where he's having an interview with Jamie Foxx, and he's like, "I'm leaving with something," and that's how I feel. So thank you. Like, I'm leaving with something. So you're doing an amazing job. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's y'all. I mean, I just opened something and everybody came. Hey, Kelly, you got the next, your hand is up.
I thought it was great, especially the restorative part, because in our communities, we weren't taught. I mean, this is coming from the therapy part of me, but we don't know how to communicate. And with that being said, it kind of brought everything into a nutshell, but being able to say, I apologize, and how can we resolve this? This is not something that we do within our own families, with our own community now. And that starts the process. So I thought it was awesome. It was an eye opener.
All right, beautiful. Danny, and then Antoine.
I'll be quick. First of all, yes, I agree fully that the energy, the sharing tools, the things that we picked up in this week. Yeah, I'm going to be spending the next 3 weeks just going through each tool and seeing which one can enhance my productivity. So fully agree. This has been fantastic, Stefan and Patty and everybody else who put it together. So, and you would know, I don't waste my time. So if I'm here every day, it's because I'm learning something and I can use it. So just being straightly honest with you. You mentioned you were 62. I'm 60. So at our age, we don't have time to play around and joke around. Yeah. So strictly to this point, if you look at some of the other communities, which I think everybody's thinking of, the Asian communities, the Indian communities, or Asia Pan, whatever you want to call it. They bring their people over and they, fit them into their entrepreneurial businesses. Yes, it's a little bit like indentured servitude, but my point is, there's a pipeline for them to come up. Eventually, they become the manager of that particular business. Eventually, they own the business. Yes, they got to put in years to get it. So in America, I think some of our children are a little too spoiled for that kind of path. So I think education, letting them appreciate what is here in America, all of the things that we take for granted, I think all of that kind of would combine in making our entire race a little bit stronger. So that's just one of my opinions.
Love it. Love it. Good. Antoine, and then Howard's here. What's up, Howard? Antoine.
All right. So I went ahead and took similar question. I put it in chat Black GPT.
There we go. There we go.
So it said, building trust within the Black community, particularly in light of historical disparities, requires intentional, sustained efforts. Here are 3 short answers. Community engagement and listening. Actively engage with the community by creating forums for open dialogue, listening to their needs and concerns, and involving community leaders in decision-making processes. Number 2, representation and empowerment, ensure diverse representation in leadership roles across all sectors, and support initiatives that empower Black individuals and communities through education, economic opportunities, and access to resources. Number 3, accountability and transparency. Commit to transparency in actions and policies, and hold institutions accountable for addressing systemic inequalities while regularly communicating progress and setbacks honestly with the community. Go ahead, Chad Black.
Somebody should put it in Latimer too.
Yeah, can you drop that link as well for the folks that want to tap in the chat, Black?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Howard's next, and then who's after that? Oh, Tanika. What's up, Howard?
Hey, good evening, everybody. I just wanted to just pop in and say hats off to everyone. This was an organic effort, and it shows you that community is real. I know we all are all around the country. You know, I'm in DC, between DC and New York, weekly. So I just want to shout out to everyone that contributed. I did pop in on this chat for a little while, but I've heard so many good things about this from people in real life, and that's the main thing I always talk about: making an impact from Web 2, Web 3 into IRL. And so I just had off to Stefan and all the core team members that were on those conference calls every Wednesday or Thursday at 11 a.m. and 11:05 a.m. contributing and to supporting this movement. Again, this is literally just a seed that's going to grow, and I'm sure that we're going to be able to leverage this to get some in-person conferences going. But I think web-based is definitely a way to create access for communities that don't have the funds or the resources to meet in person. So again, it's great to be a part of this as a partner, as a sponsor, and just thank you, Stefan, for your energy, man, because I know you got other life challenges that you're managing. So I'm very sensitive to that, but we appreciate you, man. You're a champion.
Hey, I want to say this about Howard. So Howard was in those groups. He's been part of the leadership, and he gets stuff done. That's all I need to say. He's a person who gets stuff done. And Black Meta Agency has been behind it, and I see what you're doing. So, man, thank you. The vibe in this room is good. We forgot about our speaker, Nigel. He's just sitting there listening.
That's what I do. That's one of my God-given gifts. I open.
We're gonna come to you after. We'll come to you after Tanika, and then you tell us what where you're at with all this. Tanika, how's it going?
For sure.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Stefan. So I just want to say, it's already starting, guys. What we have been doing this week is definitely monumental. What Antoine read, we're doing it now. It already started. It starts with us. To piggyback off of what Devonna was saying earlier, and to add on to it, I should say, mentorship is also a thing that we need to incorporate as well. My former boss has this thing, she used to say, Black privilege. When you encounter a Black person, you give them Black privilege. So that just means like, hey, you look out for that person. Maybe this person get a discount. Maybe, you drop them some knowledge that they wouldn't have before. One thing I love about what we've been experiencing this week is the fact that the floodgates have been open. No one is gatekeeping. Everyone is pouring into one another. And that is what we have to do. It starts with us. So if we are starting the trend now, then it's going to trickle down to other people. And we also have to not only lead with empathy, but compassion, because everyone's walk on this earth is different. And we have historical trauma that is in our DNA, rooted in our DNA, that some of us have been privileged to receive higher education. Some of us have been privileged to be exposed to things that others have not. But there are a lot of us who have not been exposed to a lot of things. My great-grandmother is 93 years young. No, she's 94. I forgot. She's 94 years young. And she only has a middle school education. Her father, I remember being in 5th grade, going with my my grandparents to take her father somewhere, and I saw him sign his name with an X. He was a sharecropper and was illiterate. But my great grandmother, who only had a middle school education, invested in me. I'm the first person in my family to graduate from college. When computers came out, when I was in kindergarten, she bought me a Hewlett Packard computer and a printer. So what I'm saying is, you have a lot of people within our culture, within the Black culture, who come from generations of people who are not as educated, who have not been as exposed to many things, and we judge them. Instead of judging, we should teach, we should pour, we should have patience, we should lead with compassion, and we should mentor our youth. But it's starting right here. It's already started. It starts with us. We don't have to look any further. It starts with us. And then as we continue to spread the word, then we're connecting more people, and they're going to connect more people. But it started already. It's here. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
I'm gonna tag on one thing to that, and your words are gold, by the way. And you've been here several days this week. You said
Thank you.
empathy. You said empathy, and you said compassion. And I'm just throwing this out to everybody. Empathy is like feeling something for somebody. Man, it's a real person behind that, and feeling what they might feel. So you feel some of that pain or disturbance. Compassion is adding arms and legs to empathy, and hands, and it's doing something about it. So when you say empathy and compassion, it's like, man, I mean, I get some of the stuff people are going through. And if I don't, I want to be involved in their struggle. But then compassion is that's the big part. Do something about it. Don't just feel it, but compassion is adding arms and legs and hands to empathy. So Nigel, you've been sitting up there. I know you, you got stuff, and we don't care about the time right now. You just go ahead.
Yeah, not a problem. And this is what I wanted. You know, truthfully, this is how most of my conversations in real life go. Even as somebody who speaks as much as I do, I promise I do more listening than I do speaking. And so I really appreciate you all for being willing and open and feeling comfortable enough to share your opinions. Just to highlight again, we've talked about a lot of different things. We've dropped a ton of different AI links. So if you're new, you're just jumping on, feel free to scroll up in the chat and check out some of everyone's favorite AI links. We also have talked about the education system as well, being able to incorporate AI into our learnings as we're still growing as a young student for life, lifetime learner, way after I left the classroom. And so being able to utilize AI in that way. And then lastly, on the productivity level, on the business standpoint, we all need to be taking these tools to be able to turn up our life, make ease out of our situations. And the way I feel about these last few comments, I'm in a complete agreement. I think that the unity is here. You know, we have a strong, powerful group. It's really, I challenge everybody. I'm big on challenge. I challenge you all to share a few things that you learned today with a friend. You all have that one friend that is smart and intelligent, but they just don't be tapped in, or they don't always utilize their full potential. So I challenge you to share that with somebody. I challenge you to share AI, introduce Black Chat GPT or Gemini. And it's life changing, right? I have a team in East Africa, and I showed them AI, and they was absolutely blown away, right? And then we using it every single day, getting to the money. No games are being played. So a lot of times things are just about exposure as well. And if you're in a place where you feel like you're not getting enough exposure, then you have to participate and tap into more rooms like this where you don't know anything. You have to challenge yourself to get in front of unique groups across multiple different races, across multiple different types of individuals. There's sometimes where I just sit back as a student. I don't want to be the speaker, because if I'm doing all the talking, that means I'm not doing any parts of learning. And so the challenge again is to share this information with somebody that you know, and then also think about, man, what are the ways that AI can help me out? Whether it's helping you build a schedule, whether it's helping you be consistent, whether it's helping you craft up different emails. And that's just scratching the surface on the productivity in terms of how deep we can totally use this thing. So you got the creators in the house, you have the influencers and the folks that are, you know, doing some implementation, and then you have the users. All right. So I want to challenge everyone to be someone that does implementation, influencing, or creating. Do not just be a user, right? And give back in the process. So I'm really excited. We got a big group on, 40 plus. We've had 40 to 45 plus folks here. We've maintained this number as well. That lets me know the conversation, the energy has been great. You know, the Zoom calls usually be, I don't know what these guys are talking about. Let me jump off real quick. But y'all have stayed on, and it's Friday night. Some folks are ordering bottles, going out. Y'all are here learning about AI, and I really appreciate it.
Kind of wild. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild. We're like in a room talking to a Zoom, people that we don't really know, but we know we're getting something's happening here in the realm. So here's something really quick. When he says to share it with somebody, show somebody AI, because when AI speaks better than us talking about it. You show somebody me talking to a phone or a Gamma, or just write something. Hey, give me anything you want to write in this story. When they see the demonstration of AI, it's much more profound and impactful than when we tell them. So I'm just saying it's a secret to AI when you just trying to put it out there. I have my 90-year-old mom here, and I interviewed her the other day, and she gets this. She gets that this is where we're going, and she's on board with it. She's like, Stefan, get this in my phone. I want to talk to your pie. And then the next day we had a 9-year-old young man here with his mom. Jaden taught us a lot. We saw a 9-year-old interacting with Pi, and we saw his mind creating a story. And his mom was right there too. She's there to guide him and stuff. So it's all great. So keep it going. Somebody else.
Oh,
Go ahead, Lauren, unless it was somebody else.
I was gonna ask you a question, but Miss Johnson has her hands up.
Okay, Miss Johnson, I don't know where you are. Oh,
I'm
I
right
see.
here.
Right.
Hey, thanks, Lauren. So I wanted to have a testimony to the excitement that people get when they see what the tools can do. So I'm an AI consultant, and my specialty is small businesses. And a lot of times we have barriers to our ideas because there's so many reasons that they're squashed. So I teach them how to use ChatGPT for research and Perplexity and other things. And then we take a prompt and we put it in Gamma. I'm so glad you use that. It's a great tool. And we do a pitch deck. Most of the time, we don't really know how to do that. Takes too long to do. And then we do in video to do some sort of promotional video for their business, all in 30 minutes normally. Talk about each individual niche, but you should see the excitement and the light bulbs going off in people's heads because there's no cost. All these
Yeah.
tools are free, and you can go from idea to launch in 30 minutes. So to be able to release that in folks who don't normally get a chance to dream or ideate for various reasons, it's just, for me, it's awesome because we're going to be adding so much new language to the LLMs, all our perspectives that are not there anymore, that aren't there now, but as each of us begin to use it and create, we're further expanding the large language model. And I really love the fact that I think that we are really going to change a lot within our communities, but also in the world because of the way that we can represent ourselves now in ways that we weren't able to before. So the testimony about the excitement that people feel is really, really exciting and also very, I feel like I'm giving back. I really feel like I'm doing something that's going to live far beyond, and that's youth and seniors. The seniors are losing their jobs, but they have a lot of skills and they have a lot of stories to tell. And helping them to write books and comic books and things of that nature really gets them from being depressed because they feel like they have something that they can look forward to in life. They have all of the skills and experience, and it keeps them from being afraid of the tools. Because if you talk to them about computers have always been here, and if you do Siri and if you do GPS and if you do any of those things, you're already interacting in AI. So just to teach them that it's a different way, but that if they're not part of it, their lives are going to be very difficult. And you can even show them that in a video and get a prompt to give them a visual representation of what it could be if you don't take care of your health, if you don't continue to learn and grow. So this has been a great opportunity, and I'm just really excited about how much we all can do to make the world better. So thank you
You're giving back to us
for
right
letting
now.
me rant. Thank you.
No,
for
no,
that.
you're giving back. I think everybody feels what you're putting out there. Hey, what age students are you talking about that you work with?
So West Philadelphia High School, uh, uh, let's say getting ready to work with a STEM program where the kids are 11 and 12. which is really good age, not too good enough to be funny and goofy, because they're kind of goofy at that age, and they're not so concerned about representing themselves in a particular way. They're still kind of free. I really like that age. And then the teenagers, because this is the world of work that they currently have, and they need to find that there's something that they can do with their own skills and their hands that's not dependent on McDonald's, or because those jobs are going to be gone. So also allowing them to think outside of what they see in TikTok, etc., and what they like, what brings them joy, kind of gives them a whole sense of different things that they can create. So and even the seniors, because the way that they create is just, they can tell stories from 1940s, which is amazing if you think about it, because we were talking about how you can put your body inside this sentient thing, all your senses, all of your experiences. That gave me a lot to think about with the seniors that I work with. So try to work with one from all ages of the spectrum, each one teach one, because the elders can teach the young ones, and the young ones can teach the elders, and the ones in the middle can kind of navigate. So trying to make sure we all get some of this AI sprinkling so we can change things.
Yeah, can everybody add their LinkedIn? Because I do work in Philadelphia and New York and Miami and some other cities, and love to connect and continue to see the work that we're doing.
Nice. Yeah, let's put that stuff in there. Hey, but while we're doing it and sharing some tools, if any of y'all know some of the specific AI apps, the simple one where you can put in a message, a text, and outcomes of sort of animation or cartoon or something like that. That's really impressive for kids to watch a story come alive like that. So any of those, but putting in your link, I think is
Put the link in the chat, or
yeah, I want to see in the chat.
Let me show you a picture I did through Gamma for Juneteenth. See, because I have a I work with a technology organization and stuff, and we wanted to do a newsletter and make sure that the kids. So my prompt was basically Juneteenth, and I asked it for Black technologists that in STEM, and give us
That's Gamma right there?
celebration.
That's
This was Gamma. Yes.
Huh? Hey, I will tell you, this is good because AI usually misspells words. So, what do you think of that?
Yeah, this was the third version, so it didn't have it exactly how I wanted it before, but now this one actually gave me the computers and the things like that. Gave me I said because I actually put in there emerging technology.
Look at that! That's I'm watching George Washington Carver back there.
I'm blown away. Send that to me once you launch it. I would love to share. That's amazing.
Hey, yeah, leave that up for a second. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna grab a screenshot of the photo, and I was sticking in AI and tell it, what am I seeing here?
Now the only thing was I kept on asking it to add the names to it. It didn't add the names.
Okay.
Antoine, can you repeat what you said at the very beginning? I missed the first part.
I said the prompt.
Yes, and where you did it in. Was it Gamma?
I think it was Gamma. I don't remember. Now you make me think. I've been using them all this week.
that looks like Imagine Meta.
It was okay. Wonderful.
It's the style of it. So I'm sticking that thing in GPT, and I'm gonna say, what explain this? Here we go. Explain this image. It's just like looping it around and see what's happening. So it's looking at it. This image is a vibrant and celebratory depiction of Juneteenth, featuring a diverse group of individuals engaged in various STEM activities. The background includes significant historical buildings and figures symbolizing the intersection of African American history and advancements in technology and education. Key elements include people of all ages. This image shows children, adults, and seniors representing the inclusive nature of the event. STEM activities. Individuals engage with robots, computers, virtual reality, and other technological devices, highlighting the focus on STEM education and innovation. Historical references. The backdrop includes a building labeled George Washington Carver, paying homage to the renowned African-American scientist and inventor. Juneteenth celebration. The central sign reads Happy Juneteenth, celebrating the holiday that commemorates the emancipation of enslaved African Americans in the United States. American flags and decorative elements. The image is adorned with American flags and celebratory decorations, reinforcing the festive and patriotic atmosphere. Lastly, innovative imagery. The scene is filled with symbols of creativity and progress, such as light, bulbs, gears, okay, and futuristic devices, emphasizing the theme of innovation and forward thinking. Overall, the image portrays a joyful and dynamic celebration of Juneteenth, blending cultural heritage with a strong emphasis on education, technology, and community engagement. That's a very good synopsis of telling me what I'm seeing. And I mean, Antoine, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, because
It
that was the whole
glossed
point. Huh?
It glossed over Juneteenth though. I wonder what would happen if Chat Black GPT had can you put images into Chat Black GPT?
No, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think Latimer or that one has it yet.
But it does think
ChatGPT
about
on
ChatGPT.
OpenAI, so you probably should be able to.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
but I
let's-
heard I did hear Stefan reference Juneteenth and the output from that prompt.
Mhm.
Yes, said Juneteenth. All right, I'm gonna
Is that
try
what you're
this.
saying? And I forgot your name, but I did hear.
It mentioned Juneteenth as the day of emancipation of slaves, but it didn't mention that Emancipation Day was years before. But
That's the nuance. Yeah, I mean, that's the granular nuance.
So
You know what?
everybody. So what I actually did, I actually was going into Chat Black GPT for my newsletter, and I put in Juneteenth and everything, and I got out information. Then I went into image GPT and stuff, and then I put what Chat Black GPT gave me, and then I put it in the image. That's how I got that.
Okay. And I'm in Chat Black GPT now, and whoever said it's OpenAI, so it should, and it did. It pulled it out. It's kind of the same thing, breaks it out into points. So it's, pulling on some of the same stuff. I think it's great. So in that case, Latimer might be able to do it too. And y'all know, Latimer and Chat Black GPT, they're basically OpenAI is the foundation of them. What was the actual prompt that you put in? Can you give me a short scenario of it?
I
Antoine?
don't remember. That was a few days ago. I did so many things since then.
Yeah, I'm gonna just, so y'all know, one of the ones that a lot of people is using is Imagine Meta. And Imagine Meta is kind of interesting because they're pulling their image they said 1.2 billion images from Facebook and other one, IG, Instagram and stuff. So let me see if I can share my screen and I'm gonna see what they come up with for Juneteenth figure. And I don't know, has anybody here used Imagine Meta before? That's what it looks like right there. And you can basically just tell it stuff. I'm gonna create. Oh, let's put it on Imagine. I gotta get it in gear. All right, now create a scene bank of the historical.
oh my gosh, last time you were in here, you were doing something with dragons, weren't you?
Oh yeah, that's right. And it's pulling up the same thing.
Awesome.
It doesn't know where to go right now.
I'm like waiting if it's going to see dragons at Juneteenth.
That would be bad. Okay, let's see what we got here. they added a photorealistic vibe to it. What do y'all think?
It's good. I think you could specify futuristic if you're trying to turn it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Futuristic, Afro future.
Oh, yeah. I think it's gonna give a whole different. Okay, look at this.
That's nice though.
Yeah, yeah. So it went to photorealism, and it gives you that vibe. That's really interesting right there. Let's try this one.
Like a
Is
New
that
Orleans feel.
that's what I thought, like in New Orleans, yeah.
What did you say about it?
It's almost giving you a New Orleans feeling.
Yeah. And last one. Down.
The faces aren't clear though.
Right.
Yeah, so actually, I'm going to give a comment about that. There was an event here. I think it was like a Beyonce, I don't know, Texas block party, and the creator of the event, he used AI to create the flyer, and he got berated by people because they said, "Hey, uh, they didn't appreciate the fact that the images, the faces were like warped, although from far away, it gave the impression of a block party and the whole experience, but people were like really particular about the marketing images. So like that's just something that I've seen in the marketplace that people, although people appreciate AI, they still want to see details and they still want to see
Okay.
themselves when they see these images.
Represented rightly, not like in a glob.
Right, exactly. Because they feel like it's weird, and I even myself when I see a lot of like avatars and I'm like it's really futuristic, I'm still getting adjusted to that, and so I think it is going to be an adoption period. But that speaks to like the quality and the authenticity that people still appreciate in like real photos and real artistic interpretations.
I spoke to the founder and CEO of a company called Mixo because they were doing pretty good websites, but I kept getting images that wouldn't depict any of us. And they kept doing it. And I called him and we ended up on a Zoom and he told me that, hey, we're trying, we know that that's happening, but it's just 3 or 4 of us working, but thank you for the advice, that kind of thing. A year and 2 months later, it was doing it again. And he had said they were working on it. And this time he said, listen, we don't, if you can tell me some sources that have Black photos, let me know that because we can't find that. So I sent him a list of places. And yes, no, 3 days ago, he sent me an email and it said, I've contacted nappy.co and something her, y'all help me, create her. I think it might be that. And so it looks like they're going to source images from a different place. And I'm just happy that he said that. But the next statement was kind of interesting, y'all. He said that some places are creating their own. So imagine a white person that in some respect, we want them to get images from Nappy or create her. But instead of that, a white person just creates a Black person and doesn't have to pay for images or anything. Let me just make one. Somebody here, Lauren, was it you who said that there's a white guy that made a model, a Black model, is making all this money off it? Somebody told me that. He's created an influencer, a Black influencer. Somebody told me that story. Cynthia said, yeah, she heard that. Is that a name or something down there, Noe?
That's the model's name. That's the avatar, quote unquote model. AI generated persona on Instagram.
Got a lot of followers.
I think so.
Dang. So I'm gonna just create some Black people.
Actually, yes. Actually, yes. For some of our brands to be inclusive and representative, we're like I am generating images of Black folk that look incredible.
Cool. Well, I know
Nigel,
we.
any last words? Any
Can I
last
chime
words?
in?
And then we-
Yeah, I was
yeah,
gonna say I'm going. We've been rolling. I feel like we can go all day and night. But definitely willing to take any last comments and questions on my side. Y'all feel free to stay up here, but I do want to make sure we're being respectful of everybody's nice. Yo, any more questions or thoughts or anything anybody else wants to add?
How you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
My name's Tall Boy. I'm here based out of Atlanta. Big into the tech space, especially with SaaS tools. Just to piggyback off that last comment that Stefan and the young lady said, I've had a chance to speak with some of the founders from some SaaS companies, in particular, Ryder, 11 Labs, and unfortunately they just don't have the African American voices. I cannot think of the name of the company that I spoke to. Veritone, that's the name of them. They were trying to clone voices, but they wanted to charge a fee to be able to get it. But I was trying to explain to them at NAB about 3 years ago, like, hey, you need these voices, but it did not work out. But a lot of these companies, I mean, even when I use their services, I'm not sure, they went out of business, but it was SpeechKey. Just to have the audio, but to have the selections from African Americans, you might have one, maybe two voices, and they're somewhat robotic. I just picked up a deal on AppSumo called Spirit.me, where I can create my own custom avatar, and then I can clone my voice to go with it as well. So it was kind of almost more of a situation where I could be sleeping, put out my prompt, and it can be me. And it can, once you get it to be where you want it to, be the model that you want, you can just literally schedule it out, and it just would be just my voice based off of the plan that I selected. But unfortunately, we just live in a time where they don't recognize us. I just partnered with a company that's based out of Egypt for secure video storage, and his avatars were all white. And I reached out to some of us and said, hey, would you guys like to be an affiliate? And one of the biggest things that, one of the ladies recognized was there was no African-American females, Black females that were avatars. And I mentioned it to him. Within 6 hours, he had avatars. So he was doing whatever it took just to be able to say he wanted to get his product or his project off the, off the ground. But I mean, I think we just run into they don't look at us, they don't value, or they don't even think about African-American voices, and, or they don't even look at us as a model to go with. And that's just kind of what I've gotten over the last few years. I'm just speaking to these SaaS founders, and it's being in those rooms and having those conversations to say, hey, don't forget about this. But they're like, well, where do we find the voices? And I think that's where the disconnect is.
%. Well said.
Yeah. So I actually think the companies think they can do it. They think I can do this. I got AI. Thank you for the help. Thank you for putting the prompts in. Thank you for different comments you've made. We got this. So I think companies, I know Veritone because their company bought the company that I was under. I've hired Black.com, and I was run Broadbean, and Broadbean was bought by Veritone, and they kind of just bought them for the data. And then they launched into all the voice stuff. But I think they're trying to get into the market, and it's really all white run. But for the most part, I know we're on a recording here. But I don't think there's a thing where, I need to hire people. I got to hire a department. They're like, let me just put some feelers out and get the information and the comments I need to try to make us better. Jerry, and Nigel, anytime you gotta go, I understand. You've been here a while for sure. So not a problem. Really appreciate you coming by here and how do we get in touch with you? Did you already put your stuff in the chat?
I dropped my LinkedIn. I can do that one more time. Definitely want to challenge and appreciate you guys not only for showing up here, but then the challenge as well to go ahead and extend this knowledge and information. Challenge you guys not only to use at least 1 to 2 of the AI tools that have been dropped here today, but once you get it at a point where you're punching in prompts, making it make sense, go ahead and share it with somebody else, a little brother, sister, neighbor, auntie, uncle, somebody that's within our community that can learn these pieces of information. So I appreciate y'all. Definitely tap in with me on LinkedIn. I'm about to go ahead and slide out, probably hear the last couple questions, and get on with the weekend.
Appreciate it. Jerry, I don't know where you went, but he had his hand up. And by the way, you should give us a date on that challenge. Like,
Oh yeah, no, this needs to be done within 36 hours. I'm all about.
Oh man, I was gonna say a week. You said within 36.
Immediate action. Because these tasks take 3 to 5 minutes. So why do we need to wait a week?
Good. I like this. I like a challenge. Y'all, we should take that challenge. Within 36 hours, reach out to somebody.
Yep. Most of the advice that I give can be applied immediately. There's no need to wait. But what's up, Jerry?
Jerry, come off mic. You're still muted, Jerry.
Yes, it can't come off again.
Yeah, maybe.
You hear me now?
Yeah,
you
now.
All right, man. What's up? How you doing?
Chilling. What's going on, Jerry?
Yeah, Liberty from Brooklyn. Yeah, I was wondering about
Brooklyn in the house. Sorry, I had to say that.
Yeah, definitely represent. But I wanted to find out about Google. Are they doing anything like they had a grant before that was doing for like creators and also app developers, or they have anything for like AI programs that plan to do any again with that?
Yeah, the biggest thing right now is they have the Google Startup Program, which is giving out anywhere from $2,000 to $350K, really prioritizing groups, investments, startups that have AI workloads, whether it's on Gemini, whether it's on Imagine, whether it's on Vertex, really prioritizing those businesses that are trying to be the future of AI. Most of the money kicks in when you already have seed investing, whether that's Series A, VC, etc. And that's going to be the main thing. And I'll drop that link in here as well for those that want to check that out. That either you guys are running a small business, try to get some of that money, or again, sharing it to a friend.
All right, good looking, huh?
No doubt. Perfect. Any other questions? Okay. Man, I thought
Anastasia back in the room. Okay. So thank you, Nigel.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm just dropping this quick thing real quick, man. It's been such a good session. I feel like we all learned a lot. I'm taking home a lot. I literally got all these links up still on my computer. Some of these different things I'm gonna be checking out. So definitely excited to get to it.
I have one more question, Nigel. Have you heard of a service called Merlin?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
It's on AppSumo, and basically it's a Chrome extension to research, summarize, and write content for your browser. I was using Voila, and then I also have Writer, but I've been listening to a couple of YouTube videos on the product, and they were saying that, excuse me, I'm sorry. They were saying that it has different models inside of it, such as you have Claude, you have ChatGPT, and you have some other language models that come with it, and you can also bring your own API key in there. So the way it was pitched to me, it's on appsumo.com. And for the ones that are not familiar with it, this is where you get a chance to buy a deal that might be for whatever your use case may be. And it's a one-time pricing. And so that way you can save money as opposed to doing monthly subscriptions, because I can't do subscriptions. Cable is, these streaming services are getting me too much. So I said, you got to cut the fat somewhere. And I found out about AppSumo, but they were saying with Merlin, this particular deal, the fact that some of these models have a paid subscription that you pay for, they're saying that Merlin will give you access to their model because you have their lifetime deal. And I was going to say, what are your thoughts on that? Or do you think that, it's probably one of those situations where it could be a hit or miss?
Definitely hit or miss. Everything right now is looking to go the distance. You kind of want to go in increments, find those special tools that you like. But in terms of those long-term investments, I probably wouldn't.
Okay. It was saying the AI models are GPT, Claude, Gemini, and Leonardo. And it's just the Chrome extension. So basically they were saying in the videos that I was watching on YouTube on it, they were saying that you have access to all 4 of those language models. And like I said, I've used Voila for the last 2 years, I want to say, and I have not had any problems with it. And I mean, no one can tell the difference that it's AI unless you leave the emojis in there. So
you're saying, why not just use Claude? I mean, it sounds good, boss. Sounds like you already own it. Appreciate that. You said no Cloud. Okay, cool. Appreciate the quick questions. I don't know if you wanted to add on to that one as well. It's fun.
No, I mean, yeah, I didn't really I don't know that program at all. I was answering the one, I think Howard said, who else could take long documents, but Claude does it. I'm just saying, why not just use it?
Right. Makes sense. All right, man. Well, I appreciate the conversation, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and sign out.
All right, thank you for being here. I'm going to leave the room open, y'all. We did this last night and stuff might happen. Thank you so much, Nigel. Appreciate it. Howard. Yeah, Claude is great. You can put a whole lot of information in that thing.
Yeah, the only thing about Claude is that to the last guy's point, it's $20 a month for the pro. So I can appreciate a $9.99, a $12.99, but like everybody said, these subscriptions are really adding up because now we have them on our TVs for watching TV purposes, television purposes, but then now we have them on our phones. And I heard somebody has like $400 worth of subscriptions per month for everything. So I'm like, hey, just always looking for another product on the marketplace. So thank you, though.
Right. Hey, I'm gonna share a screen for a second just to see if y'all have ever tried this or used it. So a lot of people this week that are developing anything, where it's a chat bot that we can develop ourselves, they're just going here to explore GPTs, and you can just make one. So I can find a chat bot here for anything. You just tell me I want images. Thousands of people have sat around and created things that are all useful. A lot of them better than Canva is tied to this. You want a logo? I could probably, if I put logo up here, I'd probably get 7 different GPTs that are free that you can use. So this is inside of ChatGPT. People have, take any idea and turn it into a whimsical coloring book pages. So, but here's the thing, just go ahead and create something. It will lead you through what you want to do by just saying, hey, what do you want to make? Okay, give me a better idea. Give me some instructions of how to do it. And, I'm doing something with Black voters, and I just started teaching it. And we have blackvoters.com and blackvoters.ai. And you can ask this all kinds of stuff, and we just keep loading it with information. And I just wanted y'all to know, the other thing is you can do is right here. So you have stuff on your computer, and let's say it's all, proprietary stuff. You can say, only use my stuff and put it in this chatbot that you're going to develop. So keep it to you, keep it safe. And then you can offer this to people. We're doing one with HBCUs too. And this started a while ago, so I'm going to show you what it looks like. Right here. So this is it. It's just been building and finding out, hey, I want you to be an HBCU, an expert on HBCU policies, histories, and impact. It's updated with a broader perspective and all this stuff. So I just started putting stuff into it and loading it. Now get this stuff from everywhere. And again, build it and configure it. And you can go as deep as you want. but it's yours. You know, it's a chatbot that you can put. I mean, ask it a question and see. You know, it'll answer all types of things. So just know that that's there. It's probably the easiest developer that I know for a chatbot.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So the people in here who are working with nonprofits or working even your business, the whole point is that, or Stefan is saying, you can add all your information, your services, whatever you do inside there and stuff like that, and now you can actually go back to your GPT and then produce some more information, some more content and everything like that, based off of what you already put in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So you make your own thing and it really leads you step by step. It's like, hey, interview me and ask me the questions because I don't know what the questions are. So I would highly recommend, you know, as we look for other apps that might do some cool stuff, GPT has these already loaded that people have created. Let's see if I put Black in here, what comes up.
Now I did drop inside the chat some other GPTs and stuff like that. What AI platforms which are focused on providing culturally relevant AI solutions. So he gave me 8 of them.
Oh yeah, who is it that they're putting down there?
That is Chat Black GPT, Lattimore AI, Blackbert, Black App, Hue AI, Zuva AI, Ujama AI, and Afrotech AI. So definitely, if you want to get some solutions that already has information in it.
This is what Latimer looks like. And again, you can put stuff in here. Well, maybe you can. I think, yeah, there you go. You can put stuff in here as well.
How does it export?
How does it export?
Yeah, like, do you have to, I know it has an API, but can you just copy and paste it, or is
Yeah, every time I
it
put
was
something
just
down,
like ChatGPT?
I just grab something and stick it down here. That's it. And I asked it to read it. But you know, John would probably tell you that this isn't loaded up as much as GPT is because it's trained different. But the answers and stuff it gives, I really like it a lot. And this is John Passmore. He was teaching in here earlier this week. So, hey, y'all, this you might or might not find this interesting. So, I wanted it to talk a little bit about Seneca Village because, you know, that was a Black area in New York that basically Central Park, I mean, they took over. They just grabbed the land and took it from Black people. We had schools and stuff that were there and churches and homes, and they took it away. But with the metaverse coming out, a lot of different strategies came out to actually buy that land and then own it in the metaverse. And I don't know if y'all understand the concept of that. So Black Metaverse, we bought a part of Seneca Village that used to have houses on it and a school and a church and all of this. So we bought it to develop it in the metaverse. So we'll be able to take something like augmented reality and develop. So if people go there with their phone or glasses, it'll show the history of what's there. And a lot of people are doing this in the metaverse that you can develop different places. And it's just that Super World was a place that sectioned off places to buy. And I was looking to get Tulsa, but you know, I was really happy to get this one area in Seneca Village to develop it now. So it may sound wild, but imagine having your land taken away from you in the physical form, but then you take the new world of you know, technology and you grab that. So grab that land before somebody else has it.
Hey, Stefan, can I ask anyone else inside this room works in the field of AI that we haven't met?
Yeah, good question.
Anybody else in here?
Yeah, I have a company. We do AI business solutions, a Black Meta agency. So, yeah, we've been supporting the project.
Who was that?
It's Howard from Black Meta Agency.
Oh, Howard. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm already friends with you.
yeah. I already know you, man. Get out of here.
About that name.
Yeah.
Tell me, it sounds like an agency. What does that mean, Black Meta Agency?
Yeah, so we actually drive programs for our company, but also we represent other companies and other nonprofits who are expanding into the emerging tech space. So we help them with virtual reality, workforce development programming, strategy, and design implementation when it comes to curriculum. And then also, like CIAA is about to be a client, and so as an agency, we helping them to design a emerging tech youth STEM program for 6 months. It's about 3 different partners, Microsoft, and 2 nonprofits. And so, we also do, events like crypto and cigars and meditation in the metaverse. And we also advise startups as well. So we do, as an agency, we kind of, operate in different functions.
Do a lot of stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Stefan, were you saying that you had purchased part of Central Park and that someone else had already purchased the other virtual real estate that is Central Park?
So Central Park took land from us. That's basically it. They took it and we'll never get it back. And now part of the park is over that land. But in the metaverse, in the digital world, you can buy stuff. So for instance, a white guy owned Black voters. And, when that happens, that's a piece of digital real estate that we can't use for anything. Hire Black, we had 225,000 jobs there because we put that into action as a piece of digital technology. And when we don't own something, you can't use it. So in the metaverse, and y'all, it's coming back around. The metaverse, NFTs, blockchain, y'all gonna hear blockchain a lot. I think it's actually the only solution for identity and IP down the road for AI. I don't even know where you're gonna go to show real authenticity for something. So yeah, we went to Superworld and bought land in it and own it right now. So it's actually, it comes out as an NFT, and maybe there's somebody else doing that, but I don't know. If that makes sense to you? You own land.
Oh, it does. I was just wondering if you were able to, with the way you worded it, it wasn't clear to me whether you were able to purchase all of Seneca Village.
No, not all.
Portion of Seneca
No,
Village.
other people had bought it. I got the piece that I wanted, but I couldn't get the other stuff. Tulsa, I was looking for stuff in Greenwood as well. Yeah, there's stuff that you can't, this popular property is all gone. People have bought all of Washington, D.C. I was looking at where the African American Museum is. Somebody bought all of that already. So you're basically buying for the future. You're buying where you might develop in the future.
Is the land expensive to purchase?
No, I think I paid something like $290 for it. But what you can build on it is anything, So here's a good example, y'all. In my area and maybe in yours, this little silly game, Pokemon Go, was popular a while ago. Man, people were all over my city in Raleigh just looking at their phones, and I don't even know what they're doing, finding little creatures or something. But that's a type of augmented reality. You place something in a geographical place, and it was tied to a phone. And so it was our world and then a different world. People got little prizes for it and stuff. They showed that kind of thing can work. They were kind of ahead of their time, if that makes any sense.
Makes sense.
It was so many people doing that in my city. I run a nonprofit called helpanyway.com. And I do work with single moms and families, with Salvation Army here. As a matter of fact, we did a computer room in the Salvation Army and have helped some people there get into entrepreneurship. But it was so many people doing it that, like, what can we do that could turn value into this? So a lot of homeless struggle with shoes and stuff. And I thought, since all these people are walking, how about we set up a big stand and you're walking so much and it's just a game. Why don't you just give away your shoes? So give your shoes away. And we set up these things around the city where people gave the shoes away. You know, instead of doing it for silliness, make this really worth something. Next thing you know, the news and newspaper was on a story on it, and we gave, it's like 1,500 pairs of shoes, you know, just turning that little thing into something. And yeah, you can turn nothing into something with AI, if that makes any sense. I could probably sit here and ask Pi, hey, give me an idea of what we could do right now to turn something that's nothing into something. You can kind of not speak it into existence, but you can create something. We could probably come up, we could probably come up with a doable idea in here that is doable next week. Make a goal and do something.
Next, to someone else a question, Stefan?
Yeah, man, go for it.
All right, Miss was it Charmaine? Charmaine? You still there, Miss Charmaine, Miss Johnson?
I'm here.
Hey, can you tell us a little bit
Hey.
more the certificate you got for AI consultant certification?
Sure. So I was a curriculum that was 3 to 6 months. I am a certified AI consultant, and you actually get a certification from the Artificial Intelligent Consultant Association.org. The curriculum showed us everything from all various tools, from research, video, presentations, various types of tools, also how to work with clients, trying to figure out what their problems are and aligning a tool to what they need. Because a lot of times, especially newbies, think, ChatGPT is really the tool, but it's really just like the beginning. And being able to stitch it together to help them understand that it does have a component in regards to researching and really niching down what it is that you are doing and making sure you're creating something that people want and will pay for. But also, after you have that idea, what do you do next? And trying to help people see that there's so many other tools out there that you can stitch together to really bring your vision to life. So it's a 3 to 6 month program. I can send you the link if you would like, as a 2-hour video.